That's how it works out, get sweat.
He used to break the bag.
Yeah.
He used to knock him down.
Yeah, heavy puncher.
The heaviest?
Yeah.
His strength was his everything.
Yeah.
And like this, and so, and so he pulling the big old truck on his shoulders and all this and stuff like that.
Reached out and called him several times just to talk. Good guy. George is a great man.
George Foreman's legacy in boxing is truly iconic. Renowned for his unstoppable power, he became one of the sport's most feared punchers.
Just before the fight, I'm looking at him. I said, sucker, you are in trouble tonight. You are fighting the greatest fight of all times. You heard I was the greatest, like you just said you heard this, now you see it. I said, you said I was the greatest, but you're gonna see. I'm fast, sucker. I'm gonna burn you up. You're fighting your idol. I talked through the whole fight. I said, come on, sucker. I said, show me something. They told me you could hit hard. You're just a sissy. Come on, sucker. Show me something. Oh, I grabbed his head sometimes, and I said, look at you. Round 7. And you're tired. You have 8 more rounds to go. And he's just throwing them. He's breathing. I said, oh, you finished, boy. You are in trouble. I said, you don't have but 2 chances, slim and none.
Throughout the years, if any, or would you like to share a little bit about that?
Well, George and I have always spoken to each other cordially. I've reached out and called him several times just to talk. Good guy. George is a great man.
Even legends like Mike Tyson have called Foreman the hardest hitter ever. With punches so fierce they shattered heavy bags. Opponents feared facing him, knowing they'd encounter pure, relentless power in the ring.
Mayweather used to just stand in front of the back, right? Just like that, 40 minutes, throw a couple hooks.
George Foreman, too. It's just the bag. That's how it works out, get sweat.
He used to break the bag.
Yeah.
He used to knock him down.
Yeah, heavy puncher.
The heaviest?
Yeah.
See, I thought that was you.
I can't match somebody's powers who's that big and that much mass. You know, the only thing that allowed me to be excited because I threw it faster than the other guys.
More explosive. How did you explode like that? Was that natural?
No, nothing's natural. It was nothing about me natural. Only my desire to win was natural. I had a great teacher.
Did he instill that desire in you, your coach?
No, only you can do that.
Yeah.
You're born with it and somebody can elicit it out of you.
In 1973, Foreman created a moment for the ages, dominating Joe Frazier by knocking him down 6 times in just 2 rounds, earning both the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles. This electrifying victory cemented his reputation as one of boxing's most dominant forces.
Whoever is scared of anybody in the ring. Now be honest. Ali, I mean,
it's strange. I wasn't afraid of Muhammad. I lost the title to Muhammad, but I remember Joe Frazier. He was the toughest guy I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Smoking Joe Frazier. My mother watched him fight on television, and he hit a guy so hard the guy turned his back. And I kept thinking, I want to be champ of the world, but I sure hope Joe Frazier died. It was time to fight Joe Frazier, and I knew if you hit him, he liked it. If you miss him, he'd get upset. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? But I had this habit of staring guys down. I look them in the eye to psych them out. If they dropped their head, I knew I had an advantage, but I was hoping Joe Frazier wouldn't drop his head because my knees were shaking. At that time, I wish I had even started that.
Despite his defeat to Muhammad Ali in the unforgettable Rumble in the Jungle, Foreman's strength and resolve never wavered.
Like a world of hurt going into this fight.
Well, George Foreman, the only way he promoted his strength. His strength was his everything.
Yeah.
And like this, and so, he pulling the big old truck on his shoulders and all this and stuff like that. And so, I had people talking about, well, he did this, he did that. I said, look, hey, boxing is not all boxing. I said, no. I said, he got to try to hit me. I said, he's slow as Christmas. I said, he's slow as Christmas. I said, he's not fast. I said, so he throw these big shots. But the difference is that he got good timing. And so that's what I realized, because I pulled back, and by the time I pulled back from the shot ain't got done yet. Bam! I bring my head back because that's how slow he is, his timing. But he got right timing. he know that you gonna come back at the right time when you, because he's supposed to be gonna miss me, and I come back.
Bam.
When I come back, it's coming. Oh,
yeah.
Right? So I realized, oh, okay, then I got to dance around him a little bit and pack him like this, and so the whole big thing about boxing is making the guy come forth while you punching at the same time. That's how you can maximize your power on him. And I was able to do it sometime, but he was a good disciplined fighter. He didn't lose all his energy on me. He was able to push it off with the big arms and maul me. He kind of mauled me in the corner a lot. I couldn't even get out. He was so much stronger.
In the late 1980s, when most fighters would have called it a career, Foreman made an incredible comeback. At 45, he defied all critics by reclaiming the heavyweight title in 1994, making history as the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history.
Redemption is a powerful word. It's a scary word. It's a powerful word. I know it firsthand. It's very powerful. Very powerful. And he had redemption on his side. George Foreman was a special man. Michael Moore was a special man. George Foreman got put into retirement by Muhammad Ali, really Jimmy Young, but Ali did it. And Ali broke down the monster that night in Zaire. He exposed the monster. He broke down this Herculean fighter that could knock down, walls. And he broke him down. And he made him live with that. He retired. He had one more fight. He got beat by Jimmy Young. Then he retired for 10 years. And he went into the church. He went into, God's work. And during those 10 years, he suffered privately. I know he did. He suffered privately what happened in Zaire. Because in some ways, maybe similar to Tyson, but I think he was stronger than Tyson in other ways, ultimately. But very similar, and similar backgrounds where they came from.
His perseverance proved that age is no obstacle when determination drives you forward. After leaving the ring, Foreman reinvented himself into a beloved figure, achieving tremendous success with his grill line and various ventures. His journey from a feared knockout artist to a universally adored icon shows that no matter the challenge, reinvention is always possible.
Covering the Rumble in the Jungle in the 70s, 74, 75, when he fought in Jamaica and he fought in Venezuela in Caracas, when he fought in Zaire, Kinshasa, when he fought Norton, when he fought Frazier, and he absolutely eviscerated them. You got to remember what this guy achieved as a boxer, first of all. He won the Olympic, like you said, rightly said, in America, he's one of their greatest athletes. He won the Olympic gold for them in Mexico in 1968 as a real neophyte boxer, rather like Anthony Joshua did in London, where he hadn't had much of a career. You think after that, he turns pro, he beats Foreman. He beats Frazier, he beats Norton, and then he gets beaten by Ali. He's like Deontay Wilder and Mike Tyson rolled into one at the time. He's just destroying everyone. He's one of the biggest punchers of all time. I have interviewed him. I don't know how many times I interviewed him. Many, many, many times. And always through Bill Kaplan, his PR guy, who was his PR guy from the age of him being 18. And Bill's in his late 80s and still PRing him to this day, this very day. It's a really sad thing because, like you say, what I wrote earlier on was that he filled up a room, big booming laugh, but not trying to command attention.
George Foreman was more than just a fighter. He was a symbol of strength, resilience, and the power of never giving up. George Foreman's legacy in boxing is nothing short of iconic. Recognized for his unstoppable power, Foreman became one of the sport's most feared punchers.
Fourth or fifth round.
Wow.
But he was a beast, and then George Foreman, it's like that's a guy that didn't ever put on a pair of gloves till he was, I think, 19 years old, right?
That's crazy.
It's like 19 years old. Think about that. There's just not that many guys that have, has never put on a pair of gloves till they're 19 years old and then get to that level.
Well, that's the Deontay Wilder story, too,
Is it?
Yeah, Deontay Wilder boxed for a year and a half before he won a bronze medal in the Olympics.
Okay, George Foreman won the gold medal in the 70s. When it was even, I think, harder, to win the gold medal because of the Cubans and the Russians. It's like because they never went pro and stuff like that. You had that
right. Teofilo Stevenson.
Right, so it's like I think it was the 76 Olympics that he won the gold medal, and he was like 24 fights as an amateur. That's all the fights he had, never lost.
That's nuts.
And it's like, and just crazy.
He fought just 20 times as an amateur before traveling to Mexico City for the 1968 Olympic Games. Amazing.
And never lost. And then, so that, like, think about that. This guy's walking through guys like Joe Frazier, and then he fights older Muhammad Ali, and then gets, knocked out in the eighth. It's like, crazy. He believed that he was invincible. Arguably the hardest hitter ever.
Yeah.
It's like, what would have happened to Mike Tyson? We might not have known who Mike Tyson was if he would have been around in those days.
No.
Boxing legends like Mike Tyson have openly admitted that Foreman's power was unmatched, calling him the hardest hitter to ever step into the ring. His punches were so fierce they could tear through heavy bags, and opponents knew they were in for a brutal encounter when facing him.
I want you to pull up George Foreman knocks out Joe Frazier. Oh, it was crazy. I thought Frazier was gonna die. He knocked him off his feet. That was a crazy one because that was when Joe Frazier just beat Muhammad Ali. Yep. And then you see what Foreman does to Frazier, and everybody thought that Foreman was gonna crush Ali, and they were scared. The power is so extraordinary that if he catches you at all, he thumps you with that jab, and then just swings at you. Oh, look at that uppercut. Oh, my God. Look at that right hand. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at that uppercut. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's power. And here it is. Boom. For the fifth time, he's down. This is crazy, this fight. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, what a warrior, Joe Frazier.
In 1973, Foreman created a moment for the ages, dominating Joe Frazier by knocking him down 6 times in just 2 rounds, earning both the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles. This electrifying victory cemented his reputation as one of boxing's most dominant forces.
A half a century ago. Let's talk about that guy first. Tell us about the young George Foreman.
Well, if you look at boxing as a continuum, he was somewhere between, he was the scary guy. So he's between Sonny Liston and Mike Tyson. And, Joe Frazier was about as tough a guy who's ever laced up gloves. He put him down 6 times. And I think that really crystallized Foreman's reputation as invincible. Everybody, who's going to put down Joe Frazier 6 times? And it set up the Rumble in the Jungle, arguably as famous a fight as ever there was for Ali.
Despite his defeat to Muhammad Ali in the unforgettable Rumble in the Jungle, Foreman's strength and resolve never wavered. In the late 1980s, when most fighters would have called it a career, Foreman made an incredible comeback. At 45, he defied all critics by reclaiming the heavyweight title in 1994, making history as the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history. His perseverance proved that age is no obstacle when determination drives you forward.
About Foreman than perhaps anyone else is the idea you cited before of reinventing yourself. It's uniquely American, but it's never been done this way in boxing. It wasn't just coming back as a preacher and a pitchman and selling hamburgers or grills or whatever it was. It was more purposeful than any of us knew as far as boxing. The previous oldest heavyweight champion, I believe, was Jersey Joe Walcott, who won when he was 37. Foreman came back when he was just shy of his 46th birthday, I think 2 months shy. And in doing it, it was his own kind of rope-a-dope that night against Michael Moore. I'll never forget it. He took punches. Moore was a really skilled guy, and he just beat him up for 9 rounds. Moore did with a great right jab. You know, he didn't just reinvent himself. He was a bad guy who came back as a guy who was universally loved. That's a very difficult thing to do in any piece of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he basically changed everyone's mind about himself, and really a remarkable life. Our boxing commentator, Mark Kriegel, sharing some memories, some insight into George Foreman. Mark, thank you. George Foreman, born in 1949, has passed away here in 2025 at the age of 76.
After leaving the ring, Foreman reinvented himself into a beloved figure, achieving tremendous success with his grill line and various ventures. His journey from a feared knockout artist to a universally adored icon shows that no matter the challenge, reinvention is always possible. George Foreman was more than just a fighter. He was a symbol of strength, resilience, and the power of never giving up.